It was my first powerboat, and I thought it was such a ridiculous product, actually. It was stinky, it was noisy. You don't want to be in nature like that.
Hey, nice that you're watching. Welcome to this unknown series where every week we dive into the unknown world of innovation, new technologies. This week, with almost 35 degrees Celsius outside, we dive into the world of Edorado, and we put a spotlight on your company. Godert, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome. Giel,
Nice to be here.
To start with, I'm very interested if you can kind of, for everybody, can paint a picture. What is Edorado? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, well, Edorado makes fast electric powerboats. We believe that in the future, all fast transport on the water powerboats will be electric. And we have developed the right product to make this possible. And we do this by using hydrofoil technology. Because of this, the range of the boats will be sufficient enough to make it a commercial viable product as well. Hydrofoil technology is not new, has been invented already in the 60s and 70s. But right now we are combining it with electric propulsion. And this makes it a very interesting product and makes it possible to achieve the range that the customer and a user wants these days.
And what kind of range is that?
The range is in between 80 and 90 kilometers. So it's about 45 nautical miles at cruising speed, which is 25 knots.
Mm-hmm.
Top speed of the boat is around 35 knots.
Cool.
So it's a really fast boat.
Yeah, it's a powerboat.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Hydrofoil technology, you said. Can you what is it?
Hydrofoil is basically a wing underwater that makes the boat come out of the water. So this reduces the drag of the hull, the hull resistance. And this, by doing this, we will save about 60 to 70% of the energy that is used to propel the boat.
No resistance.
With electric power, you can then get much further.
And is it mainly for the speed, or is it for the energy efficiency?
It's for the energy efficiency, yeah. And hydrofoils also become very stable once you go faster. We use a particular type of hydrofoil, which is an active system. It's basically the same as a normal airplane. You have wings that are controlled with flaps, and those make it possible to fly very stable above the water. So the only things that are in the water are just those small wings, which don't cause much drag at all. And
there also the propulsion is at those small wings.
Yeah, the propulsion, we have a twin drive, which is located under the water, but that's basically the same as any other powerboat. So yep. The only difference is we are elevating the whole hull above the water. So the drag is really big reduced.
Yeah, and was the whole idea always to build an electric boat, and came this technology after, or was this already part of the full idea?
No, to be honest, we started with making an electric boat first. Actually, we know a lot of companies that are doing this. We actually call them the electric graveyard, because they are taking a standard planing hull and try to make it electric boat. But then again, they run into the barrier of the energy consumption or friction of the hull. So we discovered the same, and we went one step further by using the hydrofoils.
What is the reason you stepped into this business? Why making a powerboat at the first place, making it electric?
Maybe Godert can tell a bit more about that.
I've always been a bit of a speed freak, to be honest, but more with cars. I was... my first company was called Formula Zero, and it was racing with hydrogen and fuel cells. Nowadays we have Formula E. So I've been very interested in and involved in the development of this idea that you can have performance, but without the emissions. We were both living and working in Shanghai. I was teaching at the university, big university there, and I set up an electric race team there, so Chinese students. And Giel, I gave a presentation, and Giel approached me afterwards, like, I want to do this powerboat, but if we do it together, we can make it electric. And I was a little bit taken aback, because I was like, well, it's not a car, so what do I know? Yeah. But the idea grew on me quite quickly, and Giel was already making sketches of, he was dreaming of a boat. And you had a boat?
I had a boat. I grew up along the river the Maas in Holland.
Mhm.
I used to do sailing as a kid and later on as well. So I'm more about wind sailing. But then in Shanghai, I bought a speedboat. It was my first powerboat. And I thought it was such a ridiculous product, actually. It was stinky. It was noisy. I was all the time messing with gasoline next to the water. You don't want to be in nature like that. So I thought this, with current technology, can be done very differently. And if we do that on a large scale, we can actually have a significant impact, environmental friendly way of going fast on the water. So that was the real first reason.
Is that currently a big issue? Because I can also believe the whole volume of powerboats is not super big, so that the impact
is not compared to like the industry or cars or traffic. It's probably a small amount, but on a unit level, it's really, really very polluting. A powerboat consumes maybe, if you calculate the grams of CO2 that is emitted per passenger, it's about 400 grams per kilometer. And a normal car, an average car that you can buy nowadays, is below 100 already.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's really ridiculous.
For the whole car.
Yeah, for the whole car, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really a ridiculous type of product, actually, powerboats. Yeah.
Cool. We met each other, I think, around 2016. Also here in The Hague, you competed in the Get on the Ring event in 2016. You reached to the finals, but did not win it.
Yes.
Unfortunately, no.
Unfortunately. How was that experience? You were on stage?
We thought we should bring something tangible. And so we have this model. This is a 1 to 10 scale model. And so we thought it would be nice to bring it into the ring, and also like a boxer, because it's a ring, right? So carry it above my head. Before going up, I was like, okay, there's 3 judges that are in IT, and my opponent is in IT. So I was like, ooh, it's going to be a tough one. In the interviews afterwards, that Steven Schuurman mentioned that he was quite interested. He recognized the problem because he went on a day trip with a powerboat in the south of France, and he was excited. But after a day trip with this powerboat, it took like 500 liters of diesel, and he was really upset about that. He says, I feel dirty.
Yeah.
And so he immediately realized, like from the beginning of the pitch, like, I know this problem. And that's what really triggered him.
Yeah, cool. And was that one of the reasons why did you compete and Get in the Ring at the first place? Because you have to show yourself, you have to challenge yourself to step into this ring. What was your reason for you?
Well, this was a time that we were a very young company, and so we were looking for backing. And we did many things. I mean, very tiny events, like in the high-tech campus in Eindhoven, or events
cold calling
in Shanghai. We did like basically everything.
Talk to everybody.
To find partners, to find investors.
Yeah. Actually, mostly investors. We had already some partners. We had a design firm, and we had a powertrain supplier, and so we had some basics. In fact, we already had pre-orders at that point. So we had a PR campaign, and the whole thing went viral, and so we had some traction, and so at that point we were like, we got to get out there.
Yeah. So about this journey, I understood there a lot had to do every time by building the next prototype in a bigger scale. The prototype we just saw, you said, was 1 on 10. Yeah. Was this the biggest you had then, or were there already some?
We had 1 in 5 already.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was really a small scale boat that was remote controlled. So really trying to demonstrate what the hydrofoils could do for the final product.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I think in hindsight, it was really interesting that we took this scaled approach, because we were a really young company. We had never built a boat before, and we had a big plan of a very big hardware development, which we are still on doing.
Yeah.
So we had to find a really clever way to do it in steps, and sort of solve small problems first, and then go to the next step.
And every new prototype, you wanted to test new functionalities or prove new things?
Yeah, it was mainly concerning the hydrofoil. So in the beginning, we were just figuring out what is hydrofoiling, what type of hydrofoils are there, and what would a basic product look like, a commercial product with hydrofoils. And then actually we made a 1:2 scale prototype that was really about the control system of the active hydrofoils. So that took us a long time.
Because the boat needs to be stable.
Yeah. So it's basically a flying computer. We have input with several sensors, and then there's a smart algorithm that controls the actions that the flaps of the hydrofoils need to do. And this all needs to go super fast.
So this is the 1:2 scale model.
Yeah.
So this is a 4-meter boat, which is a completely active controlled system. You see, it's very little spray. It has no, like a traditional powerboat, it has this broad wake.
Yeah.
And whereas this is just, it's like knives cutting through the water.
Yeah.
And here you can see what we call banked turn. So this is the biggest challenge, actually, to remain stable during a fast turn.
And this was remote controlled.
This is a remote controlled. So it's like autonomous in the sense that we call it an automatic control system.
Yeah.
So it is the height and the roll, it controls autonomously, but you do steering and throttle as a controller.
Yeah. Because you said you didn't have any experience building a boat.
Mm-hmm.
How do you attract the first person or the guy that can really help you there?
Actually, one of our first employees was a graduate. He's doing his thesis in our company on the subject of hydrofoils. So this is for us has been a good way to find and meet and sort of test people first. And then from then we saw, well, this is a good guy. We offered him a job.
We met him in the same month as at Get in the Ring. So he was in the audience in the Rode Hoed.
And you made your first prototype you made yourself?
Yes, totally. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we are located in a place called the Duurzaamheidsfabriek. It's a sustainability factory.
Yeah.
And there is a school as well that is for construction training and a lot of boys and girls that can make stuff. And there's a machine park there where you can do CNC milling and welding. So
and
this is a perfect environment for us.
The local municipality, basically Drechtsteden, as a conglomerate, is very supportive of what we do. So we arrived there and they were like, oh, this perfectly fits our need, because it's a maritime region that needs to innovate and become more sustainable. And they were like, yeah, you fit the bill. So what do you need? Space? Here's space. You need money? Here's money.
Yeah.
Do you need people? Here are people. Partners? What? Tell us what you need. It was fantastic, actually.
Yeah, really making use to tap into what is already offered, could be offered to you.
Yeah,
cool. And then building this boat. Where are you now?
Well, we now have our first full-scale boat in the water, so it's 8 meters long. And in a few months, we will be testing the boat during the upcoming months. And our first goal now is before the end of the year, we will sell the first boat to the first customer. And then we will start industrialization, and then production will start quite soon after that.
You had 25 pre-orders already?
Yeah, so there's a lot of people interested. We already know our customers quite well, so this is, of course, very nice. We started the marketing already alongside quite early of the development process. But now, of course, is the moment where people really have to order the boat and make a down payment. So it's getting serious now.
Yeah. And that is also kind of, as a company, that is the model. You're a production company selling the boats, or are there other models around it?
Well, in the end, we will also be able to sort of diversify a bit. For example, the drivetrain could be in a third-party boat. But for now, we are really focusing on building the first boats ourselves. Yeah, with partners, of course. We're not doing everything ourselves. We have good construction companies that help with the hull construction, for example.
We see certain areas for diversification, also the professional market. So basically, if it goes fast on the water, we wanna supply the system. Yeah. So initially, we start with a very high-end product, which has become a sort of a traditional model, almost like with the Tesla Roadster that is financing the development of the S and so forth. So the initial will be a premium
like
price.
You also see with Formula E or Formula Zero, exactly. The sports financing the innovation.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it will trickle down to become a very mass market. And once that market is more mature, we think the system supply will be interesting. but also the professional market for like patrol boats, police,
I
rescue
saw water
boats,
taxi and
water
taxi
taxi.
on your LinkedIn.
Yeah, we think that water taxi is a very, very interesting market.
In Dordrecht, which is called the Venice of the North, is really a nice case there, just in our front yard, basically.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a pilot running with a few water taxis there, and it can all be done zero emissions. So in an urban environment, this is really cool.
Well, I want to thank you very much for this exciting journey and for this talk. I think you've already done so much in the whole development, but if I hear it like this, it's far from over, and it almost just got started.
Yes.
So really excited to keep on following you, see that you can land your first customer and really get those boats in the water with customers and enjoying the rides. And then not having to refuel with 500 liters of diesel.
Yes. And I think we should thank you as well for giving this platform and this opportunity. I mean, we owe a lot to it. And also congratulations in a way that you have been able to be successful with your goals. Yeah,
cool.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks. And for everybody watching, if you still need a boat,
yes,
call us.
I know a good boat. Call them. And otherwise, hope to see you next time. Thanks.